Hello and welcome again to Oscar Mike Radio. My name is Travis, Marine Corps veteran and your host. Oscar Mike Radio is co-produced with System One Productions. What's your podcast doing? I want to thank my sponsors, Joyce Asack of Asack Real Estate, Danielle Rocco of Echo 6 Creations, and my supporters, Cason Shaving Company, Exceptional Parent Magazine, and Fight Camp be your strongest combination as we count down to number 500. I've been doing this for a little while, and I think that I've done like everything: generals, CEOs, elected officials, appointees, the whole gambit. But for the first time ever in my show's almost 10-year history, I have the pleasure and honor of talking with the Commander-in-Chief of the VFW for the first time on Oscar Mike Radio, Carol Whitmore. It is an honor to welcome you to this show. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you, Travis. It is my pleasure and my honor to be here with you today. It's always a honor for me to talk about the VFW and our mission and what we do for fellow veterans and how we can help fellow veterans either navigate through claims or, just kind of life sometimes and just have that camaraderie. And it is my absolute honor to do this position. And I get 1 year to do this, and I'm trying to make the most of it.
Absolutely. And I learned a whole lot about the VFW. I'm going to give him a shout out. Brian Walker, Assistant Adjutant Brian. Hope you're watching this, and I miss you, buddy, and I hope you're doing okay. So everybody in the VFW served in the military, obviously, and served overseas. Just for everybody out there who's introducing you to the first time, what did you do in the military, ma'am?
Well, I thank you for asking that. I actually joined in 1977.
Okay.
That was when there was still WACS, Women's Army Corps, and that was done away with in 1978. We integrated into regular Army. I first joined as a teletype operator, telecommunications, and I was getting out, and that dang retention NCO got a hold of me.
Oh, wow.
And asked me what it would take to keep me in the military. And I said, I really want a medical MOS. And he said, done, just like that. And I started out as a cardiac technician and then a medic and then eventually a nurse. And I retired in 2013 after 36 years, 15 years active and 21 reserve.
Okay, we just got to level set something here because I come from a family of nurses. And you might be the commander-in-chief now, but you're never not a nurse, are you, Carol?
No, I am retired, but it's always in my heart and it always will be. I'm a caregiver from a long ways back and I always will be, but
Could you give me a shot? Could you give me, oh my God. And let me guess, you have Benadryl somewhere in your vicinity.
Yes, absolutely. I live in Des Moines, Iowa, and I spent many, many days there giving immunizations to visiting soldiers or Marines or whoever
I'm
it
trying
was.
to palpitate right now, man. I'm trying to palpitate right now. It's all, wow. Okay. All right.
I may have seen you at some point. I don't know.
Well, it's always funny, I still don't like shots, and for some reason, between you and Deputy Secretary Andrea Gail Bennett for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, you all can still like put the strap on and get the IV going. So the nurse never leaves you, and
Yeah, it never goes away.
and that kind of dovetails into this role you're in as Commander-in-Chief of the VFW, where it's this continued aspect of service. Why is this so important now more than ever as we go into this uncertainty, what our country's doing and the people who are serving now and the veterans that you all continue to serve, ma'am?
Yes, that's a great question because more than ever now, we need to take care of each other. No one else is going to do that. The government's not going to knock on our door in 10 years and ask us how we're doing. But the VFW will, because that is our mission, is to take care of each other in the best way that we can, whether that's camaraderie or if we're helping somebody with a claim for disability. We do that for free instead of what we lovingly call the claim sharks, charging veterans shamelessly for uh, assisting with their claims. And I'm so proud of our service officers. They work tirelessly to help veterans navigate a very complicated system, and we're accredited through the VA. Most law firms are not, and so we're very proud of that fact that we do this for free, and we're still taking care of each other. And we have a hashtag that we love to say, "Still serving,"
Still
because
serving.
that's what we do. We're taking care of each other, and I'm so fortunate in my life. It's about paying it back and paying it forward, and I will continue to do that even after my term is done here as Commander-in-Chief.
When did you join the VFW then, Commander-in-Chief?
I actually joined in 2012. I came back from Iraq in 2000. I served 2010 and 11 in Iraq. And right after I came back, I joined and I immediately became a life member. I knew that was where I wanted to be. It was my family. And I miss my VFW family here in Iowa. I don't get to see them as often. I'm on the road a lot, traveling. But I will be back soon enough, and they'll be tired of me pretty soon here. But I am so fortunate that my Iowa family supports me. I'm the first Iowan as commander, also, as well as the first female.
Has any of that, your time in service and seeing these combat zones and seeing these soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen hurt, change your perspective or set your perspective on what leadership is for the VFW as you serve in this tenure?
Yes, in the military, you have expectations and you have levels of that has to be met. The VFW, no one is paid to do this. It's all volunteer as the members, and you can always ask. It's always no until you do ask somebody, but you have to be respectful that a lot of these people have families, young children at home. They have multiple jobs, and to ask them to do things in the VFW, you have to do it in the right way and make it personal to them to help another veteran out that's not quite so fortunate. That's the fine line in this organization. You want people to do things for themselves and for somebody else, but you have to be respectful also. But people have lives.
This is all very positive, but one of the things that I had heard from other female veterans who had tried to serve in the VFW is that it at one time was not very welcoming to women. And to me, when I heard that you had attained this role and looked at your resume, I'm like, okay, this is this person has earned the right to have this title and position. That means a lot of progress in a lot of areas have happened on the inside of the VFW, right?
Yes, there's still a few out there that are not welcomed in, and I hate that for them. It's not just females. There's a lot of males that are not welcomed in also, for one reason or another. And if you're a veteran, you're a veteran, and respect that. And if somebody wants to come into this organization and they want to help their fellow veterans out, if they want to do the job, the mission of the VFW, welcome them, because we are losing so many of our older veterans, the World War II veterans, Korea, Vietnam, and we have to bring in that next generation to take over. We want to be around another 126 years.
So one thing, speaking of that, is when I met Brian Walker, he talked about this concept of the VFW's original mission. And then as I got ready for this interview, I heard you say that same thing, the original mission of the VFW. For people who are not aware what the VFW is or new to possibly join the VFW, what is that mission?
Well, we were started in 1899, right after the Spanish-American War. There was 13 veterans who got together in Columbus, Ohio, who were tired of the government not keeping their promise of what was earned by them and other veterans alike. And so they formed the VFW. And it was about forming the VFW for advocacy for fellow veterans. And advocacy has by far been my vision and my focus for my year. That is the best way we take care of fellow veterans, especially in Congress. I just came back from 2 weeks ago testifying in front of Congress, and by far my biggest push is passing the Major Richard Starr Act because
Yes.
that is affecting over 50,000 of my fellow veterans who have earned their pension and they have earned a benefit of disability. They are two separate earned benefits, and shamefully, the government says it's double dipping. And so they are taking away from pension from veterans when they have earned the right to get their disability and pension at the same time. So I'm fighting hard for that, and it's shameful that the government has done this. And it used to be called concurrent receipt, and now we're advocating at least for the Major Richard Starr Act, who did pass away. Major Richard Starr was an Army veteran, passed away from toxic exposure from Iraq. And so he passed away, and unfortunately, his wife has passed away. Neither one of them will get to see the final signing of this. I'm hopeful this is still the year that it happens.
It just underscores to me the need for the VFW. And then, if I may, a little detour, there was a situation where if you were on prescription medication, certain people felt like you weren't really disabled anymore. And I want to ask you about that in the terms that for the first time in a long time, to me anyway, it seemed like one, the VFW took center stage and said, "Hey, we are advocating for this," but also other VSO orgs came together. Everybody worked together to sit there and say, "This is not acceptable." Does that give you any kind of hope for the future for VSO organizations, including the VFW?
I hope so. You know, we all have the same mission, and it is about taking care of veterans who cannot do it themselves, don't have that voice. You know, we're always looking for alternative therapies to offer veterans, and that's what a veteran wants. They don't want another pill thrown at them. They're tired of that cycle of psychotropic drugs that make them feel not like themselves. There's other forms of therapies out there to help with PTSD, to help with any of the other traumas that they have experienced. And that's what we're pushing for also. And I'm very proud. Tim Jensen from Grunt Style, I'll give a shout out to Tim and his group. They are working tirelessly also to make sure that there's alternative therapies for veterans out there. Tim has had that experience himself, and he doesn't like it and he wants to see changes. And so we're working with Grunt Style also very closely. And I'm proud of that fact that we're moving away from just another drug to throw at somebody.
I need some help then because I still get frustrated when it doesn't matter what the age or the time in service was. Well, I'm hurting, you know, but I don't want to go to the VA. I don't want to go to the VFW American Legion for help. You know, I don't want to do it because it might impact somebody else or people might think I'm being weak. And, you know, Commander in Chief, it is extremely frustrating to try to articulate why that's so wrong. What am I, how could I explain that better?
You know, that stigma has to go away. You know, we are trying very hard and working very hard to encourage any veteran to go to seek help, whether it's peer-to-peer counseling or it's with a physician. There is no shame in that. Everybody at some point in their life either hurts from uh, something that's happened in the family, something that's happened in the military. There's absolutely no shame in that. And I hope people understand that that stigma uh, is wrong, and we need to get rid of that and embrace the new beginnings of what therapy is and can be for veterans.
Again, you served in our military for a long time. You served in a capacity where you saw people in pain and had to bring them comfort. And this is another way to do that. So far, what's been the most impactful moment during your tenure as Commander in Chief for the DFW, Carol?
Oh, by far, I believe it was my deployment to Iraq.
Yeah.
I had served over 30 years before I actually got to deploy. For one reason or another, I was either not needed, or I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, it seemed like always. And I finally got to deploy to Iraq. And that was really, I felt like I needed to do that for myself. I needed to feel like I served, even though it was over 30 years that I was in. I still felt like I had not done my duty. And so that by far was probably the most important thing that I had done to that point in my life.
Civilians see different VSO groups. They might think they're all the same, but what would you want a civilian to know about the VFW and why it's so important?
It this organization has a mission that is truly about the advocacy for veterans and taking care of veterans and doing the work that can't be done in Congress. We go and we knock on doors of our legislators when we're in Washington, D.C., and tell them what our priorities are that we need to see happen for fellow veterans. And that by far is one of the most important things that the VFW does. We also have programs within the VFW, Help a Hero programs. We sponsor scholarships for eighth through seventh through eighth grade, and then for Patriot Pen, and up to grade 12 for Voice of Democracy. We give out. We are just about to give out here in a couple weeks a $35,000 grant award scholarship to a student for writing an essay about our patriotism and the topics that I have chosen for that. And I'm so excited about this. $35,000 goes a long way for college for
Yeah.
a kid. We do that. There's so many other programs that we do to help veterans, and I'm very proud that we are so expanded in that, and that we have offer so many different things other than the camaraderie, other than the advocacy. We have a website, vfw.org, and you can go to that website and look at everything that we do, that we offer. My other focus for this year was our DPAA mission, our Defense POW-MIA mission. We still have over 1,500 lost souls in Vietnam that deserve to come home. Our senior vice is going there as we speak. And, to go on a dig site mission, and it is so important to bring them home. They deserve that final salute on American soil.
There are more and more.
That was a lot to put in there.
I love it. I love it. And because people don't know, but I'm finding out that civilians still care, and they're still curious. So I think that's a complete answer. One thing I can't overlook is you are in fact, the first woman in the VFW's history to be commander-in-chief. And what do you think that does for other women who are either A, still serving, or B, considering joining the VFW in their town and pursuing leadership opportunities, commander-in-chief?
I hope it helps women feel accepted, and I hope that when they go to a post, they are welcome, because they have served, they have done their duty, they have done just as much work as anybody else, and they deserve to be there. And if they want to be there and they want to do the work and dig in, let them do that, because they deserve just as much recognition as anybody else. And I hope that it gives that spark of knowledge for them, that they know that they're welcome. And I hope that other posts and districts and departments put that message out, that everybody that has served on foreign soil, imminent danger, hostile fire, whether it's on land, sea, air, they deserve that camaraderie, because we all have a story, and we all need to tell our story. And no one listens like a fellow veteran that says, yeah, I recognize that. I did that too. I experienced that same thing. We all deserve that.
So we're winding down, and time is just flying by. We're having so much fun, and I'm learning so much. But one thing I kind of wanted to see how you felt is in my town, in the local area, there's this real drive to be not just the VFW post where the veterans come, but a way to take the post and be out in the community for the community. And so people will see the VFW, the American Legion, out in the community, and then what they're finding is that's drawing people to come to events like the Pearl Harbor Day, Vietnam Veterans Day, so on and so forth. In your view, how important is that community aspect of the VFW?
It is incredibly important to be in the communities. And, most people, when I go to a small town VFW, they say, when they are grown up, they say, I grew up here in the VFW. My dad and my mom brought me here to the VFW. I grew up here. And when I joined, I wanted to be here too. I hate to say it, it's not grandpa's smoky old bar anymore, but it's still a place where you can have camaraderie and talk about your experiences to somebody else that has been there, done that, and feel like you're welcome. But the community is so important. And pancake breakfasts, being out on Fourth of July parades. A lot of times that's who leads the parade is either the VFW or the American Legion or the AMVETS, because that's what Fourth of July is about. It's about America and the patriotism and the communities. It is so important for us to be out there and embrace the community just like they embrace us.
What then gives you the most hope for the veteran community? You've served for a long time. You've been involved with VFW. Now you're in this senior leadership. What gives you the most hope?
I think the most hope is the next generation. I think they see the need for the VFW and how relevant it still is. We've evolved and we've changed. We have to change, and I hope I am that catalyst, that perception of change of what a veteran is and what it can be. And I did not kick indoors. I will freely admit that, but I've got a lot of brothers and sisters that did. And I'm very proud of this next generation coming in because they are proud also of their service and they want to be in this organization or wherever they can belong and be that next voice in Congress like I was 2 weeks ago.
Well, a bit tongue in cheek, if I may. I mean, you are a nurse, which means you have to get grown men to do things they don't want to do sometimes, and be compliant with treatment, which can be a challenge, Commander-in-Chief. Those skills have to work here, right? I mean, because I hear change sometimes, I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
that's it's different. It might be bad. How do you
Yeah.
get us around that?
Change is hard. It's painful sometimes,
Yes,
but but you have to, say, is this going to benefit me in the long run? Is it going to benefit most everybody in the long run? And sometimes, just a listening ear is the best medicine that somebody can have. Somebody that, was afraid of needles and you sit there and listen. I'll never forget, I was, drawing blood for West Point cadets one year. And, a couple of the guys were pale white. They just couldn't stand the sight of the needle, and you just have to look them in the eye and say, just look at me. This is going to be so quick and easy. You just have to focus on my voice, and by the time I'm done, you're done. And it was. And they appreciate that, just taking a moment just to say, I'm here for you. Let's work through this. And a little kindness goes a long way. Although you
absolutely.
have to be tough sometimes too and say, just suck it up, Buttercup, and let me do my work.
I have a feeling there's that side of you. I mean, but okay, I'll take your word for it. Um, again, I'm a veteran and I've been on the fence and I'm like, I want to do this. Is the best place to start my VFW journey is at the post level or come to the website and start there?
You know, it can be either or, depending on where you live. Not every town has a VFW. They may just only have a Legion. Um, so it depends on geographically where you are, what there is to offer. You can certainly be a member at large. When you go to our website, there's that option. But if you have a local VFW, go check it out and say, hey, I'd like to just, come here for a meeting just to see what it's like, to see if this is a good fit for me. Because a lot of towns have more than one post. Here in Des Moines, we have 5 different VFW posts that someone could choose from. So it's a matter of your own fit and what you want to do. But there's lots of different ways to do it. But the start is always on the website, it seems.
And just as we wind down here, not to make it too simplistic, but for people who don't know, the VFW and the American Legion are two very distinct different organizations, right?
Yes, correct. American Legion, just the requirement is to be a veteran. But for the VFW, it is hostile fire, imminent danger pay, boots on ground, usually on foreign soil, Iraq, Afghanistan, Panama, Grenada, and actually Korea is still eligible. That has never gone away. We are still considering Korea a place of danger. And so if you've served 30 days there or 60 non-consecutive days there, you are eligible for the VFW. Many submariners, are eligible because of what
Really?
they're.
I
Yes.
didn't think about that.
Yeah. Air Force, there's a lot of airspace that we fly over that is eligible. So there's a lot of different ways that eligibility is there. You just have to look and talk to someone to see what campaign ribbons they've had or special operations. There's many out there.
And there's the aspect too of the auxiliary, the VFW auxiliary that people can join.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We cannot do our mission without our auxiliary. We
Really?
absolutely cannot. They are integral to us. They support us. They are our direct support system. They support us like nobody else does. And I'm so proud to have my auxiliary president, Lois Callahan from Arkansas. She is a true fighter. She's feisty. I just love her.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Last question. This time will be over before you know it. And there's so much you're trying to do. But when that time concludes and people think about your leadership, what do you want them to remember the most about you and what you did for the Legion during this time, Commander in Chief?
I hope that everybody remembers that by far my vision to take care of veterans is through advocacy on Capitol Hill. Uh, Direct contact with our legislators is where we best take care of veterans and make sure that our priorities are met and not to forget about us. I've had meetings with the VA secretary and he has invited me to meetings personally, and he is concerned. There are times that he has kind of gone down the wrong trail with veterans, but when over 20,000 veterans email him and say, doing away with my medication is wrong, he backstepped and said, that was wrong. And he is not going down that road anymore. And he promised he would not do that ever again. So it is about our voice. It is about being out front. And, I have many, many veterans in the VFW that do that same thing. I cannot even express how many have that same passion. And they fight every day in their own state capitals to do that.
Well, Commander in Chief, I know that you are truly Oscar Mike. You're on the move all the time and on mission all the time. And I would just want to say, what an honor and privilege it's been to talk with you during this time. And I certainly, if I get a chance to shake your hand one day, I definitely will. I just want to say again, thank you for your time and coming on and talking with me.
Yeah, thank you. I'm on the road in the next 2 weeks here to American Samoa, Taiwan, Japan, and Korea.
So just slightly on the move.
Yeah, just a little.
Well, there you have it, folks, right from the top, how the VFW serves our nation, serves our veterans, and serves in the community. There's no reason if you meet the qualifications you shouldn't join, and you're needed to help the mission move forward. Again, thank you very much, Commander-in-Chief Whitmore. I'm Travis with Oscar Mike Radio. Your mission in flight. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you for your service.
Every generation, every sacrifice. Our nation's service members have stood up for our freedom, our families, and our future. Now it's our turn to stand up for them. This year, you can honor their service in a deeply personal way by sponsoring a $17 Veterans Wreath. Each wreath is more than a symbol. It's a heartfelt tribute to the heroes who served and to the families who carry their legacy. Visit wreathsacrossamerica.org to sponsor a wreath today. This isn't just a wreath. It's a personal gift to an American hero.
Thank you for listening and watching Oscar Mike Radio, where our active duty service members and veterans are in action and the mission is in flight. Oscar Mike Radio is an oversized load Co-Sinister One production. If you are a veteran or know a veteran who needs help, please dial 988 and press 1 for the Veterans Crisis Line.